What is happening, YouTube? Yes, sir. Been a while. I made a post game type video like I usually do. Kind of took a break and I kind of I kind of made a different type of video. I just uploaded right now, pre-recorded a while back. But the Clippers, they just don't disappoint. They just don't disappoint. You know, competitive game. Clippers actually kind of started off a little strong, then kind of crumbled a bit in the second half. Then it's just a back and forth game. This was a pretty fun, thrilling game to watch. Um, both teams did pretty well. High offense game, defense. Um, I wouldn't say it was the worst. Like some shots was just insane shots, or just because the ball movement was just pretty crazy. But Clippers pulled it off. Let's check player by player. Paul George, 18 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 rebounds. So he hasn't been having as much of a monster game, but it's all good. He's a complimentary piece. This is why I say if you bet on prize picks, Clippers players aren't the best player props to do because I feel like they are pretty unpredictable because you don't know who's going to have a good game. It's either going to be Kawhi or Harden or Kawhi or PG or Russ and Harden. You don't know who's going to have a good game. Like, pretty unpredictable prop for the most part. I guess your best bet is probably betting a big over rebounds against a team that doesn't do good with rebounds, I guess. But even then, player props for the Clippers are very unpredictable right now, so that's just my word of advice. And I guess another strategy, of betting on the Clippers is if you want to get the best value, is to kind of wait for the Clippers to kind of BS, because the Clippers, they like to start slow, so that way the the money line value gets more value rather than just betting before a game and getting less value. So that's another strategy. But anyways, back to the video. Kawhi Leonard, monster night, 36 points, 13 for 20. Like, this guy's shooting high 50s% in field goal ranges, man. Like, this is insane. And I believe, I'm sure this is at least 60% from three. I'm not the best at math, but this is crazy. 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 36 points. Like, bro, he's insane. This man should win the MVP. But of course, the media, they like to sleep on Kawhi. It's all good because he's winning the finals MVP. All right, Mason Plumlee, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. He did his job, did pretty solid. You know, the Clippers losing Ivica Zubac, you would think that the Clippers would have a hard time, but nope. This team's just insane. Like, trade deadline's coming up so soon, Thursday, and 3 more days. I'm so curious to see what the Clippers do. It's gonna be exciting and nerve-wracking. Mason Plumlee. Oh yeah, I already talked about Mason Plumlee. James Harden, 7 for 14, 30 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. Monster night from him. That one 4-point play was insane. Terrence Mann, efficient night, did his job, solid role player. Kind of I know people like to make fun of, you know, the Clippers front office for not wanting to trade Terrence Mann, and I love roasting the Clippers front office because they do a lot of inept moves at times, especially draft night. But this is not one of them because I don't think Terrence Mann is going to be a superstar or even an all-star. But I see him as an OG Anunoby, um, OG Anunoby or Bruce Brown prototype, which is, it means that one of those players that won't be a superstar, but you wouldn't want to trade if you're like a contending team, unless if it's for a younger player. Like, even if it's for like an old star, um, you probably wouldn't even want to do it because he provides so much impact that you don't see on the stat sheet. Terrence Mann, he's one of them. He does his job, plays hard on defense. He does his stuff. Daniel Tice, 4 for 7, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Daniel Tice has been marvelous for us. It's like a lob threat. Does his job as well too. Um, Undersized. If he was 7 feet, oh boy, oh boy. But kind of a little bit like what Isaiah Hartenstein provided for us. Um, before we got Daniel Tice, I really wanted Moussa Diabate to play minutes, but Daniel Tice was kind of like the saving grace from me, just saying, "Hey, Ty Lue, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you playing Moussa Diabate?" Um, at least Ty Lue, when our rotation is short, he actually goes Kobe Brown over PJ Tucker. So that is one green flag. Russell Westbrook, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. He did pretty well for this team too. And it's an efficient night for him. Um, Gotta love the signing. Gotta love the Russell Westbrook, man. Gotta love Russell Westbrook. Even Amir Coffey. Amir Coffey, he's exploding, man. He is a quality role player. Um, Obviously, when I saw Ty Lue play him over Brandon Boston, I felt bummed out because I'm a Brandon Boston fan. But hey, he's kind of looking a bit like a Jalen Brunson, like a taller Jalen Brunson, and you can't help but to be pretty happy. He's kind of like a Batum as well too, because he's the type of guy like who would hit some spot up threes. Um, Pretty quality 3-and-D player. So I guess if Terrence Mann were to go into trade, Amir Coffey could just take a spot, and Brandon Boston can take the bench role, or Bones. We'll see. Norman Powell, he's a bucket. 13 points, 3 for 5 from 3. He hits so many timely shots. He just scores, but when you need him to score, Norm, he managed to do the job. Um, so this team is so well rounded out. The Atlanta Hawks. Onyeka Okongwu, 5 rebounds. Pretty good night from him. 18 points. I've always been high on Onyeka Okongwu back in the draft. When I read his little draft comparison, they kind of compared him to Bam Adebayo. And when I saw him play, I'm like, yeah, I see that a lot in him. And I'm pretty glad for him that he's lasting pretty well in the league. I got him as being a future All-Star. He's a pretty quality role player. Um, he does his thing. I definitely see him as a Bam Adebayo for sure. Saddiq Bey, um, 18 points, 5 rebounds. He did all right. Jalen Johnson, not a good shooting night from him, but he got some rebounds and assists. Trae Young, really good night from him. 25 points, 12 assists, um, and 2 steals. This was more of his A game, and of course, his playmaking's pretty good. DeJounte Murray started off really ugly, but then he picked it up. Um, and then Bruno Fernando, he got some minutes, and it's nice to see. And I thought he did pretty solid. He's a good lob threat. DeAndre Hunter, he had an insane night. 27 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Great game from him. Um, Bogdan, I mean, boy, Bogdan Bogdanovic, pretty good shooting night from him. He did his thing. I don't know why Adrian Griffin doesn't really get minutes. Um, Wesley Matthews is playing over him. Um, if I was a Hawks fan, I wouldn't really like that move because I think he's a solid player. But anyways, this Clippers team is unreal. They always find a way to pull things together, and I think on Wednesday we face against the Pelicans, and we finally beat the Pelicans for once, so that's good. But trade deadline's going to come up. If I have time, I might make a opinion on what the Clippers should do on the trade deadline, and to see which type of options, what you want to do, like what type of trades you want to do. If I have time though, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But anyways, that should end this video. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and peace.